Because none of this really matters.
Really matters.
What's up, Manda?
None of this
Feels good.
Really matters.
Yeah. How do you feel?
It feels good.
Your first episode in like
I know.
3 weeks.
With the new couch and you said that.
People were probably, someone is probably like, where the fuck is Menda?
They probably thought I killed you.
But this episode is about Thor, Love and Thunder, the new Thor.
Lit.
We all saw it, and
If you didn't, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should for sure.
yeah, this is full of, we're beyond, this is a spoiling podcast.
It's a movie podcast. Like,
Yeah.
we can't continuously watch old movies all the time.
Yeah, this is a fully like,
And we're not gonna make you pay to listen to spoilers.
yeah, this is a spoiler filled podcast of any episode. I'm tired of saying, "Oh, are we gonna spoil it?" And then we end up saying, "Yeah." And like later in the episode, we're like, "No, what? Fuck it, let's spoil it."
We end up going way past.
Yeah, but yeah, we saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and what did I have a lot of things to say. I had like shit in my notes that I was like, I want to talk about this, and this. But first thing I want to say, James Caan passed away on Thursday. I think he was 81, so he lived his long, fruitful life.
Good.
80s is good. You can be sad, but it's like 80, that's pretty.
But he's on to the next one. But
Elf, that's what I know him from. That's the first movie I can think of.
Elf was my like introductory.
Introductory movie.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Who is that?
That's the dog back there.
Yeah, we can definitely hear that.
Damn. Anyways, you go open the window and be like, "Shut the fuck up."
And you just make it more. Better than our neighborhood, you know that.
Yeah, because when we were recording there, you were poof,
Boom,
like
gunshots, dogs, cars.
go listen to the OG episodes.
People yelling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was some mixing on that ass. Thank God we moved here.
But James Caan was one of like the last tough guys in movies.
Yeah.
I always thought Ben Affleck got all his tough guy steez from James Caan. Like any sort of action movie that Ben Affleck was in, it was all James Caan. Like ripped him, basically. I don't say ripped, influenced.
Oh yeah,
definitely influenced. Even like his like little look
he was
or
in
whatever.
That's My Boy. Remember, he was the priest who went crazy.
Ooh.
He was
Hilarious.
like, he actually killed a guy in a ring. He was like, "Glaka." He just saying random shit.
I just watched. Speaking of Ben Affleck,
Ben Affleck.
I watched that Mike Judge movie with Jason Bateman and Mila Kunis. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's called Extract. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I noticed. I can see the cover, but I've never seen the movie.
But Ben Affleck, he plays like a bartender. He's like a super like peaceful spiritual teacher, Zen dude. And
Isn't it like a waiting type movie?
It's more of like a midlife crisis kind of movie.
So they're not like in a restaurant or something like that?
It's about Jason Bateman owns like an vanilla extract.
That's what it is. I knew it was something
factory.
food.
Oh,
Yeah.
factory. Okay.
And Mila Kunis plays like a gold digger basically and tries to get in on money, and she's just like chasing things. And it's funny. It's Mike Judge, so. But
2009. Wow.
yeah, I wish Mike Judge made more movies. But anyways, James Caan passed away, and I mentioned him a lot, at least his movies a lot in this podcast. Because last week we mentioned him while we were talking about Heat. We were talking about Michael Mann, and his first movie Thief was starring James Caan, and Thief was like I know for sure I mentioned that movie a lot on this podcast, and Thief is like one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of the best action movies, and James Caan was known for that, known for like doing kind of like flexing his muscle of just like, yeah, I'm gonna like take a risk basically and be like, yeah, because Michael Mann's first movie was Thief, and he was in James Caan was in Bottle Rocket, which was Wes Anderson's first movie. And he was in like the early work of like Robert Altman, and he wasn't afraid to do like comedies like Elf, and he did musicals with Barbra Streisand, And like he was
He
very
was just going for it.
Yeah, he knew what he was capable of, and he always tried new things. He never stuck solely to like the badass dude. Like even though he's known as being Sonny from The Godfather, like
Right.
R.I.P. to like a New York legend.
Yeah. He's just a good actor in general.
Yeah, and if you follow Spike Lee on Instagram, he's like devastated. So, but R.I.P. James Caan, huge loss. He's putting his jersey up in the rafters. Yeah. Anyways, I just want to start off with that. Now we can move on to Thor. I need to start off with that. One of the best actors of all time.
Okay.
Just passed away. Now,
Thor.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. It was great. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Definitely a lot of laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Great little tidbits that they put in there, like even just like the 80s kind of.
Yeah, a lot more, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And Taika Waititi kind of having, I can sense a little more freedom.
Yeah.
As far as like the stylistic, they kind of went more, because Thor Ragnarok, the trailer was like, okay, 80, it's more, it's different, completely different from the Dark World and the first Thor movie, and like Age of Ultron, whatever other movies Thor was in.
Yeah.
And
even though like the serious moments between him and Jane, like, you know, like the lovey-dovey, like even that wasn't as like eye rolling.
Yeah.
You know,
because
it was like.
Because me and Tatiana watched before the night before we went to go see Thor: Love and Thunder. We wanted to rewatch all the Thor movies. So I watched Thor by myself, but we watched Thor: The Dark World. And God, I know we say it's like everybody says it's the worst Marvel movie. It is just
so long and drawn out.
It's like, God damn, this movie.
They try way too hard to make it dark.
And it's like, how the fuck?
Bad shots.
It's not. It's just so not. It's boring.
It's boring. It's to the point I don't even remember what happened in it.
He actually is not in it a lot. That's probably why I think that's why I didn't like the Dark World that much. I'm like, he's actually not in the movie.
Yeah, it's more of about Jane.
Yeah,
the whole movie. It's more. Yeah, the story is kind of like her being more introduced to Asgard and shit.
Oh.
Because everybody's freaking out because she has the Infinity Stone shit.
Yeah.
Inside of her.
The ether.
Yeah.
Then they figure out like
the reality stone.
The reality stone. That's what it was. But that shit sucked. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it the benefit. I'm just gonna try to like it. You know, I'm gonna see. Okay, what is this? Like, because I only seen it once in theaters when it came out, and I was like, I was like 13 or 12 when that came out, and I was like, I don't know about this one, but yeah, I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's just not good. And then Thor Ragnarok was like
Hulk
a complete.
It flipped the whole MCU.
Yeah,
because Chris Hemsworth was the reason that it switched, because he, like, personally, he himself reached out and was like, I want Taika Waititi to be the director of these Thor movies, because he said to Kevin Feige, he was like, I'm fucking dying. He was like, I'm drowning. This shit like, he was like, I hate my character. I hate being Thor. So he was like, he handpicked Taika Waititi and was like, please make a Thor movie. And so they made Ragnarok. And then, boom, you got Thor Ragnarok.
Which is a great movie, by the way.
It was one of the more fun ones to watch. It wasn't so fucking serious.
And we watched it a lot of times.
Yeah.
They do emotional and funny really well in the Thor movies. Especially, well, not in the Thor movies.
And Taika Waititi.
In Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, they do the funny and emotional. It's
Yeah.
very emotional.
Yeah,
still.
if you watch Taika Waititi's movies, like Hunt for the Wilder People, or if you watch
Free Guy
of Jojo Rabbit.
He didn't direct that, but he was in it.
He was in it. But like, if you watch Jojo Rabbit, that's like an amazing mix of like it being funny and it being, you know, very sad, Jewish people in World War II. Yeah, you know. But it's Jojo Rabbit is amazing, and it won. I believe it won for Best Original Screenplay. Shout out Taika Waititi. But yeah, Taika Waititi, even, it's crazy because Chris Hemsworth picked him, and he's not even that but especially before Ragnarok, he was not mainstream like at all. Like people might have seen the What We Do in the Shadows movie, but like even that was like deep cut. That was like indie New Zealand comedy. Like that's super deep cut. But like now that he has ultra like opportunities. He's producing TV and he's doing a lot. And so that he really like by himself saved these Thor movies. And they're funny. They're funny movies because Chris Hemsworth knows what he's capable of. He was like, I can be a funny guy. Because he was at least like in the Ghostbusters movie, the reboot thing. Like, you know, he can be funny and like easy to like instead of this fucking.
Talking about that.
They said that he, when they were talking about the Hunt for Red October, or no, not the Hunt for Red October,
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, all Russians.
No, the new Red Dawn that was
Chinese
Korean,
Koreans.
Yeah, North Korea.
I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Same thing.
Commies are commies. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah, commies.
I was gonna go the other way also. But anywho, that
could bleep my.
Josh Peck said that he's actually a funny. He said he used to call him he used to call them his bear cubs. He was like, oh, little cubs, and he was just like, he was a funny, nice guy. They said that's his actual daughter in Thor.
Yeah.
In Love and Thunder, his son was
Little Thor.
Little Thor
With the long hair when he was running.
They were
through
running.
Yeah.
That's all their kids.
Everybody's in that. Everybody's kids in that movie.
Taika Waititi's kids, Natalie Portman's kids, all of them.
Christian Bale's kids are in it.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool. I mean, I put my kids in there
You'd be
too.
like, Zoe, get the fuck over there.
Right?
They're probably like, Daddy, can I be in the movie? It's Marvel. Like, all my friends would be like, holy shit, we saw you in a Thor movie.
Yeah, that'd be
Right?
dope. Imagine going to school.
And getting paid for that.
And you were a Thor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they get powers. Spoiler.
We already said that.
But yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder was amazing. I thought Christian Bale did
Oh yeah.
an amazing. He was the best.
I mean, not that I
Marvel
was
villain.
surprised, but he did a great job. I was surprised that he was in the movie.
Yeah, like him. He was one of the best Marvel villains of all Marvel movies. He absolutely killed it. Even I was watching it. I was thinking like, he's fucking killing this. But I was like, I hope this reaches everybody. Like, is this going to work for other people? But I hope like other people see it and they're like, yeah, he's
Kids
one
were
of the
scared.
best.
The kids were.
The kids were
It was
like-
pretty. There was some scary parts.
There was some parts and that shit was hilarious.
Maxwell had his eyes closed.
Yeah, that
And
shit.
there was a part where all three of them jumped at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm glad this is one of the definitely better than Doctor Strange,
Yes.
Multiverse of Madness.
Wasn't a bad movie, though.
It grew on me. I didn't like it when I saw it. Saw it again when it came on Disney Plus. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good.
It was really WandaVision, too.
Yeah, it should have been called WandaVision the movie.
Yeah.
But
Because she killed that shit.
yeah, she was the best part of the movie. And if you watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie are like two different movies.
Yeah.
It's like, it's tone wise, the look of it, it's all different. Like, it's like a weird, fucked up rom-com.
Do you think something happened? Was that being shot during pandemic?
Yes.
So that probably
most
does.
definitely. And they switched direct. Sam Raimi came on halfway through the movie.
Oh, so you can clearly see
Yeah.
the tone switch.
Yeah, it turns
does
into a-
go from like very bright and like not corny,
Like
but
that
it's
first
like,
the wedding scene was like the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
like, are they even on set at the same time together? Like, you would think that. It's so weird.
Then it
It
gets
was-
dark. Like,
yeah. Then once she starts killing people, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, this is when Sam Raimi
right.
signed
You just-
on.
Yeah, the stakes just got high now, guys.
And that's why I said, like, the best part of the movie is when she's chasing them all down. Because it turns into an 80s slasher movie.
yeah.
Like, right there. And I was
There's
like, okay.
zombie fight.
If it was like that, and then, yeah, zombie Doctor Strange, fucking fantastic. I loved
Best part.
the second half of the movie.
Didn't
But
pull no punches in the final fight scene. I was like, yes, fight.
It was
kill
great.
stuff. Throw stuff.
and then, I don't know. What else came out this? What other Marvel movie? Morbius? We're not going to go.
That's not. You know that somebody was talking about the execs at Sony. They said somebody should fire them because there was a thing going around Twitter where they were basically they were being facetious, saying this movie is so fucking good. Like they were going to IMDb and like giving it rave reviews.
Oh.
So Sony thought to themselves, let's re-release it in movie theaters. Guess how much it made when they re-released it? Just guess. I want y'all to see.
Less than $50,000.
You're the closest. It was $85,000. That is just.
That's embarrassing.
That is. That makes it's second. You know that secondhand embarrassment you feel. I feel bad for Jared Leto after that. I was like, it was bad enough we tore him apart.
Yeah.
When the movie came out, but then y'all said, "Oh, some tone deaf, probably some gray-haired idiot who refuses to give up his job said." Let's re-release it. People seem to really be like, he thinks he knows how to use Twitter, and he doesn't.
Like burner accounts, and was like,
also,
this movie's great.
Jared Leto was like, I do want to be like a superhero, like in a superhero
And it had a lot of
setting.
potential.
Yeah. And he was like, all right, I'll do it because Joker,
Yeah.
you know.
Nate said it. The potential.
The potential was
Yeah,
great.
like a vampire Jared Leto.
Because we're
it.
waiting on, we're anticipating Blade.
Everybody's waiting for Blade.
So
And
that
it was like a
supposed
smaller.
to that was supposed to like get us into like the mood.
It was a smaller, like in the city on Earth, one city. It wasn't like globetrotting.
It was like almost like you could say like an indie Marvel film.
Yeah.
If those things are starting to happen, like an indie Marvel film.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
It would have been better on Disney Plus.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
As like a
call.
series.
If Jared Leto was on Disney Plus, that's Sony again though. They refuse to let these rights go.
Because they think they're making
fucking
like
themselves up.
bangers of movies.
They have no idea you're ruining because you can't compete. You can't. After this, Love and Thunder is another smash hit.
Yeah.
That's
This
why,
is going to be another $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see it again.
Let me look
Yeah.
up the box office.
we saw it in IMAX. Definitely worth it.
I didn't see it in IMAX. That's the only thing. I saw it right here at the Esplanade.
It was fucking great.
I wonder how.
From beginning, you know what it is?
I wonder how that Shadow Realm looked in IMAX.
The first thing I thought to myself when that fucking Shadow Realm showed up, I said Nate is probably sitting there jerking off right now because it just turned into black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Nate's sitting there jerking himself in the movie theaters.
And they actually looked at themselves. Were like, what?
That shit was cool. And like seeing it in IMAX, I have to see it in IMAX
You got to.
because
The death part where the goats run into the planet because you think they're about to go into a fucking like
Hilarious.
atmosphere. I was like, oh, they just ran into a planet. Like I thought they was about to go into like any Guardians of the Galaxy type. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn helped with the first part when he shows up with they was like they brought him in. He actually wrote their dialogue.
that's cool.
That's why it was so.
Guardians of the
true
Galaxy.
That's
to
why
Guardians
it's
of the Galaxy.
That's why it was like prominent and like it stuck out rather because for me I was like, wow, they were barely in this. They were in like 2 scenes, but like
very memorable.
It was good, yeah.
Set the tone for the entire.
And it's setting up for the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
Also, those aliens, the bird aliens, those effects on those bird aliens.
Those are
I
pretty sweet.
was seeing that in IMAX. That's what you'll be
Like the little.
it's
Yeah,
already
the way
made
they move.
$150 million opening weekend.
Worth it.
Damn.
And there was like no merch, no like. I think AMC had like a drink or something.
They had their drink,
Yeah.
but even what's whack, AMC has fallen off for this. Their little popcorn bucket thing was the Thor, the Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And you can't even buy it. It's like online only, and you have to wait
Bullshit.
like a month for it to ship. And it's like
I don't know what the fuck is going on at AMC. I told Amanda this. They don't got no snacks. Their candy selection is getting lower at the one we go to at least. I'm like, who the fuck wants Raisinets and Red Vine?
They shut down like the butter dispensers for the popcorn, and
That's
they put
why.
like a little squeeze fucking bullshit in there. Like,
at the Desert Ridge one.
yeah.
Like they're
What the
trying. I
fuck?
guess they're trying to save money, but I'm like, and they're trying to make you go to that MacGuffin's bullshit.
Oh,
But it's like, suck my
What's
ass,
MacGuffins?
dude.
Oh, the
It's
little
the
bar.
bar.
The
right?
bar thing, yeah. And it, for like $13 for some tater tots, which are great. Don't get
The
me wrong.
loaded tots
Are amazing. Well worth the $13. But I
For
have
sure.
5 fucking children.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
5 ices and 5 popcorns is already
No, dude,
enough.
I was in Top Gun Maverick, fucking loaded tots. I was like, "Ooh, sorry, trying to move out the way for people because they do the delivery at the IMAX.
Yeah.
But like, there's no like tables or nothing, so I gotta fucking look up at the fucking movie like that. But the
and they
IMAX,
also the IMAX doesn't recline.
And
that's so whack. Watching Dune, I was like, the whole time I was just every 10 minutes. Those seats, I was sat in like the first or second row.
Mm-hmm.
But
Thor gave me Dune, like where there was no lull. Even the parts that were supposed to be slow,
Yeah.
they weren't slow. It was shot wonderfully.
Yeah.
The dialogue is great. It's very there was no dull in Doctor Strange that you can see where it switches because there's like the middle part is where I fell asleep.
yeah,
That's when I was in the theater. I was like, you could tell that it was like a change.
I definitely fell asleep because I saw it 3 times in theaters. And on my last time, I saw it with Tatiana at like 10 p.m. It was after one of the episodes we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, we're about to go see Doctor Strange. We went to go see it, and I was fucking...
But then you wake up toward the end, you're like, oh, it's getting good. And you sit up, and you're like, all right, there we go.
Yeah, literally
I'm
when
here.
Fantastic Four, or what's it called? The Illuminati showed up. I was like, okay, watch this scene. Once it's over, fall asleep.
Dozing. Something
was-
happens.
I just love seeing... I can't wait for like... what's crazy is seeing that Fantastic Four, like, it's in, like, they made it.
In the MCU, seeing that, first of all, it's John Krasinski, so
Yeah.
everybody's like,
Like,
you're
it's
already
Jim.
like, fuck yes. You're like, yes. It's also Zero Dark 30. Fucking, he was really good in that movie. Actually, that movie, I really respected him as an actor after that movie. Once I saw him in that, I was like, okay,
And
you're no
a
longer
Quiet
Jim.
Place.
And the Quiet...
Not only as a actor, but as a filmmaker.
Fucking filmmaker. You're like, oh, you're a real thespian. You're not just some guy who stares at a camera funnily, which isn't easy, by the way. That face, for him to make that face is actually very difficult for it to
it's
be
so,
funny
like,
every time.
Yeah. Because it's like, it says everything.
Yeah.
Says everything.
The writers at The Office are geniuses.
That's probably why they knew that the Quiet Place would work for him. He doesn't need to have. He doesn't have to say anything. His face, and he was a fucking Navy SEAL too. So it's like he didn't talk a lot then either. His face says a lot of stuff.
That's called being a great actor. That's Brando-esque.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yes.
what are we talking about? Doctor
John
Strange.
Krasinski.
Yeah.
Because we love him.
But seeing
But he was
him,
really good I want to see him. I hope they do something with that.
I've heard. This isn't confirmed like from Marvel or Disney or anything. But I just heard like in like a YouTube comment that like if there's a Fantastic Four movie or show, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be like a period piece in the 60s.
Because he was old. He had the gray hair.
Oh.
And when
And they age slower than everyone
and Doctor
else.
Strange, he said, "Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?" And when he said that, that's supposed to be like a seed of
Okay.
like it might be like a period piece like from a while ago.
We know that they'll do that well because the scene with Tony Stark and his dad in the 70s, the way that they shot that just
Yeah, that
looked
was good.
Even
very good.
I know it's not a period piece, but Loki, the way that looks,
You're right, absolutely
was obviously 70s, like
inspired.
yeah. 'Cause of-
The Captain America done very well for
Which
the
one?
40s. The first.
oh
one.
yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
That was just like a great World War II movie. And
Because it wasn't just about him.
because you know what I was
about his Howling Commando.
what I'm just thinking, like today I was thinking earlier, was that what if Blade is like a series and not a movie?
I take it.
I want a movie out of it. I don't think I would. I feel like, because now that I think about it, it might be just a series.
The way that they do Moon Knight, Hawkeye, I could see that.
Yeah.
And it might come out really. If you gave Mahershala Ali 6 episodes like you gave him in Luke Cage to really build. He was a villain in Luke Cage, and he was like, wasn't even superpowered, but he was a great supervillain.
Yeah.
He was just a dude in that show. He was known as Cottonmouth, and he would beat your head in. Like, he would just beat you to death. But if you gave him 6 episodes of Blade to really build up a relationship, what they need to do is make them shows and then give them movies, like they did with WandaVision. Now you see her post WandaVision, you're excited to see her in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, at least give them a movie.
Yeah.
Because now that they have the option to make it a show or a movie, they're kind of like, now they can like pick and choose. Kind of like they did with Miss Marvel.
It would just depend on like how in depth they're willing to go with the story.
Like Eternals should have been a series.
I showed them that. I was watching it last night. As far as visuals go, that's the best looking Marvel movie that's ever been made. If you rewatch it, the graphics, the tone, the shots, the costume design, that actually should have been made. I told him, man, it should have been made later. Now that you're doing these big cosmic beings, they should have made that like probably post Love and Thunder, honestly. To show that they're like they're way overpowered. They are like they're on par with Thanos. It's like they're way overpowered. Yeah. They had the Superman guy. Icarus, he's basically Superman.
He's Superman.
Yeah, I'm glad they're going into the more cosmic beings, the cosmic entities that kind of were made in like the 60s, early 70s in the comic books.
I told Amanda that I was like, I love that they made the Eternity from the comics. That's exactly how she looks in the comic books.
It's amazing, like
wonderful cosmic beings. Because we've said that multiverse is a cheat, but celestial beings is also a cheat. Yeah, because their power is.
But that's gonna take some tricky writing. Because like they're so powerful, it's like, how are you gonna make this make sense? Right. Kind of like you did with Captain Marvel, and she's so fucking powerful. It's like, how are you gonna make sense of like, where were you, kind of thing. Right. This whole time,
like I had to protect the rest of the galaxy.
But
you guys protect Earth, I protect the entire. That's how powerful I am. I can go between planets because she's a Tesseract. She can literally move through space. Yeah. She doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that with this Thor Love and Thunder, they really got a lot of different elements into the movie without it being feeling rushed. And it wasn't a long movie either. No. And so Taika Waititi is
2.5 hours.
No, I don't even think. I think it was 2.
It wasn't even 2 hours. It was like an hour 50 something.
Yeah. I remember that because I was like, we went at 10 and it was only 12 when we left. And that's post-credit scenes we left at 12.
Yeah, that the whole thing, the whole movie, I was like, a part of me was trying to find like I was trying to like trying to not like it. I was like, what are they gonna do wrong? But there was no. I was like, this is actually really fucking good. And then you guys are right when that Shadow Realm part came up. That's where I was like, fuck, I wish I watched this. Because like that, it looked amazing. That,
and then when they went to like the little other whatever
Omnipresent City is what it's called.
Yeah, and they were in like the stands.
The God City.
The God City. And they were and they were in the stands and they saw.
That looks.
They did the panoramic thing.
I tell people I was like, because I watch all of the shows. All of these movies become better to me. So like, because I watched WandaVision twice actually, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, a lot of people said they didn't like it so much. I was like, I think I liked it more because if you didn't watch the show, it was kind of like, oh, you just kind of take it off the strength of Endgame.
Yeah. Right.
You're trying to take everything off the strength of
because you're lost about the whole reason why she wants to be a mother.
Yes. You have
like, who the fuck are these kids?
As to why she wants to be a mom.
Yeah. Or like why she wants to protect her kids so much.
Or why the City of God was actually like really cool as far as, because we and Amanda watched this video. It was like, oh, all of the gods from like the pantheons of heroes, So like Bass was there. She's the god from Black Panther. She was the black lady. She had like gold paint on. Fucking Ra was there. So he's the head of the gods in Moon Knight. fucking the dragon is definitely the dragon from like Shang-Chi or something like that. Like they're showing you these celestial beings from each of the heroes. Like those people worship these gods.
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to introduce a lot of characters, and they've been introducing so many characters.
Yeah, and we've been watching like Miss Marvel and things like that. We're still up to date on all the shows.
Great show.
So it's just like, how are they gonna start introducing and pulling these people in?
Yeah, like the Charlize Theron character from Doctor Strange 2.
Right, and then they were talking about
and Harry Styles.
Yeah, he's at the end of Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
I showed Amanda Eternals because I had to show her the Celestials. Like I was trying to show her. I was like, you have to understand the scale of who they are in like the comic books. They're not omnipotent, but they're like, you know, when the shot in the end of Eternals, when the head is in the sky, I'm like, that's not him projecting himself. They just see him because that's how fucking big he is. He's as big as like something you can see from the earth. And then I'm like, so you have to, like, they're about to start fighting those things. Like, that's next level.
Like the, what was it, the Watcher?
Yes, the Watcher. He fought, and if you didn't watch What If, you're still kind of lost as to who some of those people were when they went to go see Eternity, because they show up a lot in What If. What If deals a lot with, like, omnipresent fucking people. It's crazy. And
again, it opens up that universe to allow other things to...
But you're still not forgetting the little guys, like you said. They're still giving us Morbius. They're still giving us Blade.
And Moon Knight.
And they're good. Moon Knight starts little. It grows into, like, he's on the Thor path at the end of that shit. Because
that's going to connect with, I think you said this, Rob, but that's going to go into the Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
Because it's in Africa.
And they mentioned the ancestral plane. That's like a Wakanda... staple, because that's where you see that they all go there when they do the ritual. They all go to the ancestral plane.
Yeah, and then the introduction to Marvel's version of Valhalla was pretty cool, and the end credit scene. So they're introducing all these like realms, which is pretty cool.
Like you're not right. And then they said because of Moon Knight, those realms, like remember he went to the Field of Reeds, and so you're not. That's their version of Valhalla also. It's like the ancestral plane. They're not stuck there, though.
Yeah, like the quantum realm.
You can sneak back if you try hard enough. So they're like, Jane might come back and be full powered this time.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Amanda brought up a really
where it's like
good
there's
point.
Like a way they can come back.
Yes. Amanda brought up a really good point. She was like, they never said which Thor will return. She was just like, it just said Thor will return. And I said, damn, you right, babe. It could be 4 Thors that come back. You don't ever fucking know.
Like a Throg.
Because Jane is technically, she was a Thor.
Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor.
So she could be coming back.
That would be dope.
She did a really good job. It did not come off as corny or like trying to be super feminist. It did not come off that way. It was a sisterhood thing, and I fuck with the girl power.
Yeah, that was
Valkyrie.
Cool.
I fuck with the girl power shit. You just didn't shove it in my face like 4 girls shooting at Thanos.
Right, but it was more like a best friend type of situation.
Yeah, or like
both hurting.
Captain Marvel was the movie was one big girl power shoved in your face.
Yes.
And that it being shoved in your face ruined the movie Captain Marvel, because instead of having like a badass like score to when she was about to like fight I forgot what happens in the movie, but like instead they play like No Doubt, and it's like, why are you playing No Doubt? Like
we get it. She's a woman. It's like, fuck.
It's like, why can't you just let her be a woman? Like, we already know.
Or just let her be a fucking superhero.
They said? They were like, if she was a man, because everybody was like, she was a douchebag. They're like, if she was a man, y'all wouldn't kill her. I was like, no, we would call her, if she was a... I think women have
we call guy superheroes dicks, too.
I think women have this
Doctor
idea, like,
Strange
we don't call
is a dick.
other men, like, we don't like those men. Like, I don't fucking like a dickhead CEO. I don't support him. I'm not like, ooh, go ahead and do it. It's like...
We're not like, yes, men rarely do
Rarely. And we do it for... Most men I know do it facetiously.
Yeah, sometimes I do it ironically.
Yeah, it's like, I know that those men from 1950 are retarded. I know that they're retarded.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me that. They were dumb.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
like,
shove it. This girl power shit was like, no, these are just powerful women.
Yeah.
She whooped Gore's ass. Even though he stabbed her, she was going
still did her thing,
She
yeah.
was going toe to toe with Zeus's thunderbolt.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
She was going toe to toe. So it's like she's not weak by any means. And she's holding I forgot what's his name, spear. Odin.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
Omni. That's the fucking Omni spirit. So she's not no fucking weakling. She knows how to
She's still
fight.
like, yeah, worthy
Yeah,
of all of it.
all of it.
And it's dope seeing all those like set pieces and shit. And actually, when they did that whole scene, when they enter the Shadow Realm to go meet Gore, it was used with this. Fuck, it's very complicated, but it's called Satellite Lab, which is like a company for like a special effects company, where it's crazy because I'm trying to explain how it works, because even I'm confused by it because I have no like familiarity with how it works or it in general because it's new. But
Oh yes, please continue. I wanted because we're talking about software. I want to show you something. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to tell you something about John told me, and I think it might put you graphic designers out of business. But please continue.
but like the way they shot that scene, those scenes in the Shadow Realm, was they use this technology where you can shoot at like 1200 frames per second, and you can have 8 different light setups where it's like so many frames where it goes 50 times faster than the speed of sound.
Wow.
And so while you shoot your scene, when you're in post, you can choose your lighting setup in post. So like, you know how like the strobes and lights, like you can't see it right now, but that light is flashing
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah.
So there's a technology where you can set up 8 different lighting setups. And then so when you're watching it in post and you go frame by frame, there's different lights.
Does it give it more depth or something like? Does it make it look?
It makes it look like one. It's like
Because it was that Shadow Realm was. There was a something. I'm glad you said it. 'Cause I'm like, there was something that it did to your eyes, or you're like, it made you
so
feel
distinctive. Yeah,
it made you feel. You're like, this is.
There's
like,
a texture to it.
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
like, and the sound design made it feel like, oh, I'm in a different
I'm in a
atmosphere.
different phase.
We're talking about. It made you really feel like when they say even color doesn't dare tread here. You're like, this is some primordial shit. Like they really are getting close to eternity, like something that's above
Right.
comprehension type shit.
Yeah. So like them using that, I couldn't tell you how many times that technology has been used in a movie. I know they use it for like commercials and shit, but like I couldn't tell you what. I think this might be the first movie it was in. I don't want to confirm that, but
That's why I love. People got. I remember when Marvel wasn't Disney, and then it got bought, and they're like, "Oh, it's about to get Disney-fied." I'm like, we gotta start Disneyfication. One, we gotta remember this shit's for children. I think people like this shit's for kids. We may spend money a lot on it, but it's not for us. We just happen to like it. That money that they have gives them. That's how you get Thanos looking like Thanos. When we were like, oh, this is going to be a CGI Thanos, and then you're watching the movie and forget that it's CGI.
yeah.
Right.
That's Disney
When
money.
you like, that's why I think Josh Brolin should have won an Oscar for playing that.
like,
Like, I'm not even lying. To
Like-
emote and have that performance through CGI.
What
That's
was it?
and
The Hulk.
Ron Perlman playing as Hellboy should have won an Oscar. That it's like to convey all those emotions in Hellboy and Hellboy 2. It's like, how do you not win an Oscar for
Ron
that?
Perlman is such a good actor.
And
dude.
then even Eddie Murphy as the Clumps, like riffing off of he's a character riffing off of shit he shot earlier that week, and still perform.
Genius.
And it's like,
that's
a whole nother episode.
Why does that happen in Oscars? Now you're right. That is another. So because it seems like these movies that essentially a Nate wouldn't like, they have these budgets and these acting. they do these things that seem to be out of the box and are almost like revolutionary. Like these horror movies do stuff that are like what Disney movies do. You're talking about this technology, the technology. Nobody even talks about the technology. How having the same person in the shot used to look terrible. Used to be able to see it clear as day that there was a split screen thing going on. The clumps, you forgot that it was him
when they were all sitting at the table. Yeah,
that's performing, and it's like it's insane.
And Janet Jackson, give her that too.
And it's like I don't know. When I see, that's why I said that's a whole nother episode of finding movies or performances where it's like under so much makeup and so much CGI
water
and still having a great performance. Like that should be like a theme of an episode, but like Ron Perlman.
I'm gonna tell you about the software before I forget. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, yeah.
John, because obviously John is always ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
He's joined this Discord where some group of somebody did something. They programmed some kind of algorithm where you can type in the picture that you want.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And John said if you know the right words to say, he showed me some pictures that were like Picasso made.
If you know how to describe it, it'll pop up.
And I'm talking about 4 different versions of a like next level, like somebody paint in his depth. Like it is not no rink-a-dink. You're pulling up true, like Nate sat around for hours.
Yeah,
days.
you could type in Elvis riding a horse on Mars, and it'll generate like 9 different pictures of like Elvis riding a horse on Mars. It's like
that's wild.
So then he showed me
in a matter of like 30 seconds.
And he showed me people. He was like, so when people who like graphic design artists and actual artists who know the words to say. Like I tell people, I'm like, if you know the lingo of something, you're always better at it. If you know movie language, like Nate does, your brain works better. Yeah. So what the dude was like, give me a orange tiger, but it was like, give me shading at 68 degrees and this and that and the third. So it gives you this very like deep tiger picture that looks like somebody sat there and took a picture of a tiger because he knew what to say. And John was like,
that's the future.
He was like, graphic design artists are pissed off right now. He was like, I fucking love this because John was like, I know what to say. If you know what to say, then it shouldn't be a problem to you. There's a lot of people out here who just dick around. They don't know, and you have a job as a graphic design artist, but you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah. That I did hear about that shit.
I
haven't looked into it a lot.
I talk to Nate about this. It blew my. I was like, the future is legitimately. I drove in a Tesla and I saw that in the same weekend. That my life has changed.
It's
dude.
pretty scary.
I've been depressed for the past 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm way behind.
It's insane, like that exists, which is, I don't know.
Isn't it like you're just like, what do we do now? Where do you go from here? You have algorithms building songs, making hit songs. It may not. It lacks a certain feel, but it's still.
There's AI podcasts.
No way! I didn't know that.
Yeah, Will Sasso is like a part of one.
He talks to a computer.
No, it's like I forgot how it works, but if you listen to the podcast, or like or just like go on his Instagram or something, like the way they describe it, I forgot how. I think Will Sasso was on somebody's podcast. But it's like it's a podcast ran by, basically set up by an AI.
You know what? Somebody was just talking about. I think it was Andrew Santino. Because everybody's talking about the fact that these famous people are now doing podcasts. It's like they're getting mad because they're like, literally 5 years ago, y'all told us, because Bobby talks about it a lot too with his agents and his managers. He was like, y'all literally told me to go fuck myself when I asked for help. Yeah. And now you're asking to like set stuff up so they can get 10% of it. Because he's making ridiculous amount. These people are making ridiculous amounts of money from their podcast, and their managers or agents are getting none of it, and that pisses them off. Yeah. But now you have Will Sasso and Conan O'Brien. Their producers are actually, these are like producers from NBC doing their podcast. So
Yeah,
that's
there's like networks
it's
for
like,
podcasts.
ugh. Like, it does make you feel like, you're like, ugh, that's not a podcast, dude. That's a fucking TV show.
Yeah, you're doing it for
Right.
a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. It's weird.
I think we like our podcast not raw. What's the word I'm looking for?
Just real.
They're friends. Yeah, the people
Yeah.
that we
It's
watch
like
are
The-
friends.
the
it's like watching an
authenticity.
indie movie.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, because like John Cassavetes, old American director from like the 60s and 70s, 80s, he was like an indie film god.
Mm-hmm.
But he did I think his second movie is called Too Late Blues. It was like a paycheck job for Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like not renowned. I liked it, but it's just not renowned as his best movie.
Mm-hmm.
And John Cassavetes, after making it's his second movie, and it's for a studio, and he's like, I'm never going back. I would never make a movie for a production company ever again.
because it's just the reason why Andrew Schultz, he just bought his comedy
I heard
special
about
back.
that. Yeah.
Because it's just what it is, people. It's like those people, they don't care about art.
Mm-hmm.
How can I maximize my profits? If I piss somebody off, you're not going to pay me. So how do I make as many people as I can happy
Right.
Mm-hmm.
to get this money back? Which is
Yeah.
why there is a level of that, like I know there's going to be parts of Thor that aren't going to be played in China. You can it's just because of how they are. You're like, there's too much like talk of gods in this. We don't like.
Yeah.
the thought
Also,
of that.
like when Valkyrie went, she was getting out into the boat and she like
Kissed at the girl.
Kissed the
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
She's clearly a lesbian.
Yeah.
From
If
the
that wasn't
first
obvious
scene,
from
yeah,
Ragnarok,
exactly.
but-
She had like the Phantom of the Opera like T-shirt.
but she was wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Her
like-
name is King. She's King Valkyrie.
And but like I think
is
talking
great.
about indie anything, that's why A24 is so successful.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gives people, there's no creative control from A24 at all. They're just trying to make people make the movie they want.
Yeah.
And Netflix used to do that. Like the last movie I can think of them doing that for is The Irishman, where they told Martin Scorsese, do whatever you want. And it was basically a 3.5 hour indie movie. And everything after that, since the pandemic, there's no great Netflix movie.
Way overproduced
No.
stuff. You
Or
the
it's
way they
very
act.
like very baseline.
It's just like
Very
there's nothing,
surface level stuff.
nothing groundbreaking at all.
Their hits still play heavy. We just watched Umbrella Academy last night, like the first season or first episode of season 3. So I'm like, oh no, this is still good. Like this is still a good show.
Yeah, it might, like,
Stranger
still-
Things is like.
But
have you
Stranger
seen Stranger
Things-
Things 4?
Not the new one.
Oh,
But like
God.
Stranger
boy.
Things has been around since 2016.
Right.
Like that was written 5-6 years ago.
Still a banger too.
So that's why it's great.
going
Is because it's
fucking
not held
strong.
back because it was already successful.
Mhm.
So they're gonna let those people do whatever they want.
You can't. Don't mess with it now.
Yeah.
Don't try to change it because.
Because if you do anything like and get a hold of it after it's already succeeded,
Right.
it's like you're gonna mess it up.
Right, and that's why the majority of their budget is to buy other things from other networks to say, "Hey, let's put this on Netflix." So
And
that
that's
these
why
people
I
can
was
watch it.
happy seeing Thor: Love and Thunder and having them letting Taika Waititi make a bold creative decision. Because I was, once it turned black and white, I was like, some people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, people are not gonna like
I
it.
didn't say what the fuck, but there's my brain said pre-podcast Rod would have been like, "What y'all doing?"
Yeah, so
Because
it's,
it is so beautifully colored. Prior to that, his suit is great. Everything is just shot.
yeah, everything looks
beautifully.
great.
Yeah.
And so, taking a risk with even though Taika Waititi already did a whole nother movie for Marvel, taking a risk like that in a new Thor: Love and Thunder movie, it's like I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, for them
'Cause
not
it's
to
like
reject
just-
it.
Yeah, just let a filmmaker, a creative filmmaker, do whatever. Make a Marvel movie cool instead of just like only to the story. Make it like, oh, this is different, because you already had Doctor Strange people hating on that movie, Morbius hating on that movie. Why don't you just make one creative risk? And if people hate it, people hate it. It's a flop. But at
Exactly.
least try something like hire you know, like they did with Eternals, that flopped too, but they got Chloe Zhao to direct that. But there are great parts about it. It's like I think Marvel can afford to, or Disney can afford to just, you know, take those creative risks.
But that was like Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
They were copying
Eternals flopped simply
Wonder Woman
because-
84 tried to like riff off of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Because of the whole 80s like
The,
neon.
even though, well, yeah, all of it was just so like, but it just even wasn't.
And DC fucking blows.
Yeah, that shit was corny.
That's
They picked the corniest parts of the 80s to pick out in that movie.
Yeah.
High-waisted jogger shorts and like
Yeah, they didn't
the blouses that men used to wear. It's like that's not the cool stuff.
They
like
didn't
Stranger
go into it.
Things.
Yeah, they didn't go like they didn't actually like immerse the whole storyline and
God, I
characters
forgot
into
all
the
about
80s.
Wonder Woman 84.
They just like you said, they just like surface level, like, oh yeah, let's call
That's
back
like the 80s
neon
to, like-
and scrunchies and, you know, leg warmers.
That's
and
like
then
the 80s. That's the 80s to people who were like 60 during the 80s.
Yes, they said that's what they saw. That's what they saw. That's what Papa saw in your dad. He was like, that's how your dad looks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
or
It wasn't
even-
a young person's perspective of the 80s. It was an older person's version of the 80s.
That shit was
Not even a person who lived in the 80s.
They had the douchebags in the car, and she kicks the car.
Yeah.
She's she's in the mall way too fucking long. Like you're trying to do the Stranger Things thing, where it's like the mall in the 80s was a staple of culture.
Yeah.
Like going to the mall was like
Yeah.
the shit.
But
Yeah.
you put her and like 3 other characters into a modern mall, like
Pentagon City, by the way.
you have it looks exactly the same as it does right now. You know for sure it didn't.
It just it didn't slap at all.
I haven't seen Wonder Woman 84 since we saw it.
The costumes were terrible. The bringing Steve back, they just did not do that well. Oh, the wishing stone is not actually him, but she sees him, and it's like that's gay. That's
weird.
Stupid. We're talking about magic here, and you're telling me he has
Right.
to replace an actual existing person? You can't just bring the fucking guy back when we have a magic stone. You have a guy who said, "I want to be the stone," and was broadcasting wishes, and you brought Steve back as somebody else. Dumb. The movie sucked. The ending was terrible. I turned it off after she fights Chitara.
Yeah.
I turned that off.
She was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig.
I
Kristen
forgot she was in the
Wiig.
movie, yeah.
She
Great.
did an amazing job.
But I did.
Poor her.
I was like, wait, she's a cat now? I was like, wait, what
They
just
did
happened?
They didn't set that up.
They
well
didn't do
either. She
any-
was like,
they didn't-
I want to be the apex. Well, you should have made her. That's not what Chitara is at all in the comic books.
Yeah.
Exactly. That didn't make any fucking
At
sense.
all in the comics.
Terrible
None of that,
setup.
I want to be better. Well, she was already Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to make? She lost again.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wonder
but
Woman 84 sucked, dude. This sucked. You're to do 80s in 2026, as Thor said, and we found out today. That came off to mix the two, to meld future and like retro.
Yeah. Retro futurism.
Is that what it's called? It's amazing. I want retro futurism. I like that.
Yeah, it's the world we want to
what is
live
that?
in.
What is that supposed to be like? Back to the Future type shit. Well, no, I guess that was just the 80s, and they were saying what the future looked like. That was different.
Well, it's weird with like Back to the Future and like any 80s movie, because now, okay, so this might sound complicated, but now we kind of like fetishize, I guess, or like have this astonishment with the 80s, like with Stranger Things or Thor or anything like that. And like even music, people are using a lot of synths and stuff, and it's very popularized. So we kind of like glamorize the 80s, but in the 80s, like when you watch Back to the Future or Grease or anything like that, they all go back to the 50s.
Yes, yes, they do.
So it's like there's a difference. It's like
They
Gener-
thought that was super cool.
yeah, generations are always gonna like think 40 years behind.
Right,
Of like,
that's why-
that was like a dope time.
Because the 20s, no matter that watch, the 20s are still like, the roaring 20s seem so fucking cool till this day.
Yeah, so like 40 years from now, people are gonna look at the 2010s and be like, dude, trap music was amazing. You
That's
know
why
what I mean?
people are right now are beginning to go back into the 90s, early 2000s. right now. That's just the beginning, and that's where things are heading right now.
Yeah, the baggy clothes are starting to come.
The crop tops, the spaghetti strap.
Yep.
Like all of those things are coming back.
Are slowly coming in.
Yeah.
There's people who are doing there's like a whole community into like 70s skating now. Like how they used to skate back in this. So they're like legitimately going to the skating ring in bell bottoms and like the tank tops that J.J. Evans used to wear, or fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Or roller skates.
Like they're really into, and they only listening to like 70s funk music and 70s soul, and they're just skating and doing all that. But it has this, they're doing like the Nene at the same time type shit. Yeah. So they're all like these kids, and it's like people Nate's age or younger. Like these 17 and 18-year-olds are like, the 70s was fucking like where it was at, because that's like 50 years ago. It's like, damn, that was super cool.
Yeah.
But the 80s, I still love the 80s. I think it's something about just everything about it back. And then you read about it, because if you read about the 80s, they were making a lot of money back then. That's what a lot of
the turn of the century, like technology was coming out.
That was the theme, and every 80s thing that we see is like there's this theme of like not affluence, but you can see that there was a increase in technology.
It was like big business.
Yes, the big business really took over. Like the cell phone guy, the car and the phone guy.
Because everybody was doing
living
coke.
in the city.
Everybody was doing coke. You can stay up for 15 hours and do business.
They're like, this fucking investment stocks company is going to succeed.
Because we're up all the time. That's why all of those men are now dying. They're like 60 and they're all dying now. And their hearts are just giving out now.
They're like, no, trust me, this clothing brand is going to succeed.
Right, but
we've already done it.
Right, but now going back to like the late 60s, like early 70s, where it's like, oh, free love, oh, peace, oh, like the big circle glasses,
going
and
against the government,
oversized tee and tie dye, and all that stuff.
Definitely coming back.
All of that's kind of coming back into the culture, quote unquote,
stealing my shit.
And it's just going back that way. But
I mean, I think, but to say that for Thor: Love and Thunder, and
it was executed perfectly.
They're using, and that's what I think I was trying to get at with Wonder Woman 84. They're actually using the counterculture of the 80s, which we now see as cool. Back then, they remember we were watching Stranger Things. She was like, "Where's your music?"
Yeah,
because he was listening to like, fucking give
AC/DC,
me metal bands. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Motorhead, things like that.
And she was like, "Who are these people?" She was like, "Where's your real music?" And I was like, "Oh, that is how they saw that back in the day." You had no idea that musically, metal music is some of the hardest music to play that they were doing. So I'm like, that's how you saw it back then. Now we look at metal; it's its own. It has its own subgenres now. Yeah, in metal,
it had like a whole like Metallica Sandman riff, like for a whole scene, and I was like,
that's cool,
because Stranger Things plays off of how everybody was worshiping the devil back then. Like if you like metal music, you worship the devil, and it was that
satanic panic.
That's all it was. So like cut and dry in the 80s. Also, like if you were Republican,
that started in the 70s and 80s and went into the 80s because of Charles Manson.
Yes, that makes sense. Because that's what they keep referencing in Stranger Things. They're like, it's like the Manson family. It's like the Manson family. They do a good part of like, I like when people show that.
That's why, like, because it's a
like
whole
the
thing.
dad.
I
like
could
the
go on
dad
for an hour.
Stranger Things.
But Charles Manson was set up, worked for the CIA.
Yes.
MK Ultra Project, whatever. But they kind of, hippies are associated, like the reason why old people hate hippies is because hippies are associated with, they're one in one with the Manson family because that's what they were. And so Manson family was set up to be like Satan worshiping. And so that's why, you're about free love and shit, that shit's for the devil. You know what I mean? That shit ain't Christian.
Because because Christians don't believe in free love. We believe in one wife, a husband. Yeah. You guys don't do anything funny. You don't even supposed to like party like that. You're supposed to go home, do your job.
No sex before marriage, no drinking, no drugs.
That was still, that's crazy that you think that actually was still super heavy in the 80s. If not going harder than it was in the 70s. They were like, the world is...
Because of AIDS.
Yeah, they're like, the world is falling. To them, the world was falling apart.
They were like, whoa, you're turning gay? Let's make AIDS.
Yeah. Let's make AIDS. But we don't like that shit, bro. We not doing, bro. Because I mean, but now you can see that hysteria has always been a thing. Because now we're literally in 2022, and Roe versus Wade got overturned. So it's like there's still these people from back then who are still mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're
they're
fucking
still-
always.
70-year-old politicians
It
who are
makes me mad, dude.
still
Yeah.
mad.
And they still hate the same shit.
They still, because like when that video of AOC came out where she was partying with her college roommates and they're like, see, this shouldn't be. It's like, what, a college student's not supposed to have fun?
Yes.
You fucking old piece of shit.
I
You
hate that.
You
And
see
and
around
people
like
fall
town,
for it
right?
still.
You
And it's
see
like,
around
oh, like-
town, like all of those signs, like vote for whatever, vote for whatever. There was one where it was like a guy and he has his friend around, a clearly gay, another gay man. And it was like, see, he's not for Congress. Like, what the fuck? So he can't have a
That's
gay.
anti-gay.
It's not
And
calling him gay. It's just the fact that he was with someone else that
And
was
there's
gay.
a
Like, that doesn't make
fucking-
any
And
fucking
there's a
sense.
campaign manager who knows that is enough to get
Yeah.
people to not vote for him.
Yeah.
So we're mad at the politicians, but we also have to be mad at these people who are like, yeah, the world should be like
Right,
this.
like all the Carrie Lake, it has her with Trump and then
And
her with Obama.
yeah.
And it was like, okay.
Because like she can't be with both.
Right.
She can't hang out. But we know that there's people that are these 60-year-old people who we're talking about, even from the ones back then. They're like, you hang out with a Democrat, that's not
Right.
good.
And also she was an anchor woman. Like she was probably interviewing these people before they were even like president, before they were famous,
Yeah,
before
she's
they were
been
in office.
Arizona for like 30,
But
40
when Amanda
years.
told me that, I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what this is then. I was like, she's just right, that's her, she's done being a newswoman. She's like, fuck that. But
Right.
she can't stop being in the spotlight. So what? And now everybody thinks, literally since Donald Trump, now everyone is like,
It's
that's
possible.
my retirement. That's my, because now Donald Trump's retirement fund is the fact that he has this fan base, essentially. Constituents is technically what they are because he was the president, that just ride for him. They will
It's
buy.
crazy.
I just had a thing pop up, an ad. I think it's probably because I watch a bunch of white comedians. They must think I'm Republican. They had an ad pop up for that Gina Carano movie, but it's coming out on
Which one?
Gina. It's a movie coming. What's that website? What's the Republican like streaming service now? OAN, not OAN. It's like some kind of. It's like marketed as like the Republican. Because, like, the literal marketing ploy is, like, she got kicked off of Disney because of this. Now she's here on this network where real Americans are.
Damn. It's like a streaming service?
It's a streaming service. Genius, by the
Damn,
way.
that is genius.
It's produced,
Right.
and I think it's produced by Trump.
That's ChristianMingle.com.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I actually like
It's smart.
Should I say that? I
Yeah.
actually like that.
Why can't you like
That's
that?
dope.
I like Gina Carano. I think she's hot, and she shouldn't have been kicked off of fucking...
Damn, like a right wing streaming
That's
service.
exactly what it is. It's a right-wing streaming service.
I would
And it's
love
going
that.
to make money.
Dude, imagine them rebooting like shit like that.
It's
Like-
gonna be it's
But like make it
marketed-
right. You know how like people reboot but make it left wing, like make it all girls.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or make it trans or whatever. Like what if they reboot like Scooby Doo? It should, but make it right wing.
It's gonna be, dude. That's the next.
And then take
Yeah.
off the mask and be like, "You're not a woman."
You're black. Hey, this is wrong.
Ugh.
Like everybody is
Even though
like
no one was gonna find
everybody
out.
is like Home Improvement. Like
Yes. Home
Tim
Improvement
the
gonna get rebooted.
Tim the
I
Toolman
would
Taylor.
love a right wing streaming service.
He's just like more
Just to see.
manly.
I support America. You should be.
You should be able to
do that.
make whatever you want.
You should, and the
It's
people should not hate you because of it.
art shouldn't be like politicized.
Like, come on now. Some people like guns. Some
Right.
people don't. It's all kinds of shit. All right.
I mean, that's is
I like
why
how-
you're here, to have that fucking opinion.
Marvel still, they're just giving you gore. They got away with it in Thor because the blood wasn't red. It was gold blood. So you can chop everybody's head off.
That's why they had all the gold all over them.
Somebody at Disney said, people don't like this soft shit. Somebody sat down and was like,
Yeah.
well, what makes it, that's the law. What makes it PG-13 or R?
Yeah.
Oh, blood? Okay, somebody pointed it out. They're like, that's why every Wolverine movie that came out, you always had this sense of like, I want. It's like you. It's like a.
Like you kind of
drug.
want more.
Yeah, it was like.
It's
why,
like
you're supposed
like you're
to
being
get
edged.
there.
Like they're edging you.
And then everybody's favorite Wolverine movie is when
Logan.
he started slicing people's intestines out.
Yeah.
Because in the comic books, he gets ripped in half and crawls back to the other half of his
Yeah,
body.
yeah. Like, what was it in Endgame? In the comics, Thanos rips Tony Stark in half.
Yes.
And it's like, imagine
Wow.
if we got that. That would be insane.
It would not be
So
the same thing.
So now you get close with Doctor Strange. They're trying to edge us into it. So you chop Peggy in half, but you don't show it. You
don't
just give
show
the
it.
blood on the edge of the thing.
And that shit's rough. That whole scene was like, oh, fuck. Like, that's the closest we got.
The closest we got. So now you see Gore stab somebody in the throat. You see Thor and Valkyrie and Jane just legitimately just obliterate people for like a minute and a half,
Yeah.
2 minutes. He kills Zeus, who doesn't kill
Yeah.
him. He throws
Yeah,
a
you think he kills
thunderbolt
him. Yeah.
through Zeus's chest. So you're like, this. Thank you. My children watch YouTube. Like, that's just.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, we were watching. What were we watching yesterday? Last night. And then Max was like, yeah, he killed him. He's dead.
Oh, Eternals.
Eternals, yeah. And then he was like, at first he was scared and he was like closing his eyes, but he was like watching halfway through. He was like watching through his fingers. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, he died.
Because that's what you want as a kid. You want to see the superhero kill the person that's scaring you.
Yeah.
Get him, please. I'm like, that's why it is terrifying because nobody comes and saves them.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
just terrorizing these children the entire movie.
Yeah. Same thing with like Halloween. Like this. Why isn't he fucking dead yet? Why
Yeah.
isn't he dying?
Yeah.
Remember he wore the mask in Stranger Things? We were like, where's Nate?
Where's Nate? It was
they were
hilarious.
he was like, I gotta hide out, and he just pokes his head out, and it's a Michael Myers mask, and he's like running across the yard.
I can't wait for that because I'm thinking about new movies that come out later this year, which Halloween Ends is one of them in October.
The
But
finale?
yeah, it's the end of the trilogy.
That last movie was so good.
Halloween Kills is great. I loved it.
So good.
But this movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, was like the last blockbuster of the year.
Nope is
Is
coming
it?
out.
Oh, yeah, Nope.
Nope is coming out, but it's like that's not going to reach every it's not
Not
that's
150
making,
million
that's not
opening
making
weekend?
Opening
Yeah,
weekend.
we already talked about it. We already heard the people who were like, I don't want to see that. And they
Yeah.
don't know why they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And we know why you don't
Seeing
want to
Top
see
Gun
it.
in IMAX and then watching the Nope trailer, you hear all those
Yeah,
people.
oh,
they're like,
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, they're so sick of
It's
Jordan
silent.
Peele. They're so sick of him.
yeah. Once they saw Jordan Peele at the Oscars, they were like, I don't like that.
I
man."
don't like that. They don't like the fact that somebody won for something that made you feel bad. Get Out made so many people upset. You know how many white people I talk to who would just be like, "Do you really believe the shit that happened in that movie?" And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it struck a nerve with some people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that didn't make you feel good. You didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
That made you like look at yourself as something. Somebody just said that. I think it's Chris D'Estefano. He was like, white people don't see themselves as one. Like everybody else. How Mexicans is like a community. Blacks are a community. Even like your ethnic whites see that Albanians, Hungarians, like those people see
Italian,
themselves
yeah.
as one. We're
Greek.
Italian. Americans say, I'm my house. There is no I'm America.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
my house.
I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but there's no like white brotherhood. You know what I mean?
In a positive manner.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can be a brown brotherhood like Mexicans
Like
or anything like that, and it's like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, hell
Yeah,
Right.
'cause
Or
you could
even
have
like
brown pride.
American, like, oh, we're American. Like,
Yeah, you could have like brown pride, black
Yes,
power,
exactly,
black power. But
exactly.
like, once you say white power, you're
You're
like,
whoa,
whoa.
dude. What are you proud of?
it's too soon.
What
Too
are you
soon.
proud of there, buddy? They're like, I'm
Yeah.
just proud to be white. It's like, but
All right.
yeah.
Let's save it.
Let's
Let's
wait
save
another
it.
50 years for
Yeah.
you to say
Yeah.
that, bro. We gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah. Wait till there's more interracial couples.
Exactly. Then we'll give you some leeway.
Right.
I'm
Let's
telling
wait
you.
till the entire government is is less than 80%.
Yeah.
That's what, and he was like, that's just what it is. He's like, you're just in power right now.
But like, if you feel that positive white power, like I'm proud to be white, go for it.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm American. Be proud of what you want.
Yeah. White people invented a lot of stuff.
They did. White people are the reason why information traveled around the world. If it wasn't for Rome, nobody would really know about. You wouldn't have DC.
There would be democracy.
That's true.
I actually have a theory. I think white people actually did invent peanut butter.
There's actually somebody. I'm not trying to be funny, but there is something that's saying he didn't invent it.
He didn't invent it. He just worked with peanuts.
Yes. And he didn't invent. I think he improved upon it. I think it was already a thing.
So
I think he didn't invent it. And, I'm not a black person who don't take credit for shit that ain't. I don't believe in taking credit. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah,
don't
you just
take
invented
credit.
it. Yeah.
If you invented it, you invented it. That's who invented it.
I know a French dude came up with the term, but he's like the reason the term "fool's gold" became a thing, because he came like on a boat and full of gold and came home, and then everybody was like, "This is real gold, you fucking dumbass! Like,
you fool!
You fool! This is fool's gold."
Somebody gave you shiny rocks.
And I could just imagine being on the boat on the way back by yourself, and you're like, "We did it! we got it!
We went to America and we fucking did it." But and I think to say all that, any pride has to be based in like, just know your history. Like, I don't care if you're proud, just
be aware.
Imagine, like, you can't tell a Jew not to be proud. I dare you to try to tell a Jew not to be proud to be Jewish. Dare you.
They came from the bottom all the way at the top.
Right. But then I found out, now what I just found out again about Hollywood is that I didn't know that there was, now correct me if I'm wrong, there was some kind of law where people couldn't use a camera outside of New York back in the day, in like the 20s or 40s or something. There was something that somebody said, they were like, the reason why people start that stereotype that Jews started Hollywood is because they legitimately did start Hollywood, because they were coming fresh out of World War II, and they came to America, didn't have shit. And there was some kind of something where you weren't supposed to, I think the camera was trademarked or something, and they said, we don't give a fuck about that law. And then just started making movies. I think moving pictures was like, only certain companies could use. It's kind of like nowadays, like an algorithm, you can't use Instagram's algorithm. That's like trademark. Like whatever that algorithm is, not everybody, you can copy it, but you can't like use it. I think they said the Jews from New York was like, nah. And that's why LA is what it is now.
Hollywood is what it is, yeah.
It's not a racist thing. They're like, the Jews legitimately
they had no choice.
Start, because they put everything into it. They said they put what they had left from wherever the fuck they came from Germany, from Ukraine, anywhere. And they were like, we gotta do something. And they saw that movies were
profitable.
They wanted to tell their story also. They wanted to find a way to tell their story.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. They said there was something about trademark, and that's why the Jews started making movies.
I know there's this speaking of like Jewish people in old Hollywood, and like I just know there's this one movie with Robert Ryan. I'm gonna look it up. About, they like changed it out. I think the original story was based on a book where it's about a guy who's in the army, and I think it's called The Outfit. Is it? But he's in the army and he's like gay, but he has to hide the fact that he's gay. That's the book. But to make it into a movie, they took out being gay and replaced it for being Jewish. Which is like,
back then it was like, we'd rather you be gay. Back then we'd rather you be gay.
Yeah. So like there is definitely a huge history of Jewish people in the movie industry.
I want us to talk about that at some point on this pod. Like that's like saying black people in hip hop. Like that's like saying we didn't create hip hop. It's like, no, they created hip hop.
They definitely did.
Hollywood was created by Jews. Like, I don't understand why that's wrong to say. I think because they were like, I was like, well, they clearly, there was some stuff where they okayed it. There was a lot of stuff where they're like, I'm the producer for this movie that's clearly anti-Jewish.
Go ahead.
They don't
I'm going to make my money.
I'm going to,
I'm gonna make my money.
That's what every race is trying to learn from Jews. It's like, how y'all keep getting offended?
'Cause we ain't.
Because we not offended, bro.
We ain't.
We not going to let you talk shit. We not going to, like, let you... We never going to let what happened again happen. We're never going to let that happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what happened was really bad. So, in the grand scheme of you calling me a K-word...
We're good.
like, that's what I
Right.
want a lot
There's
of people
money
to
good.
learn.
There's money still
yeah,
good.
I want a lot of people to learn. They don't care what you call them.
Right. And
Yeah.
also because they still have such a tight-knit community, like it doesn't matter. Like your opinion is not going to affect me day to day. It's
Go
not
down-
going to affect my family. It's not going to affect my community because I'm doing what I'm doing for my community.
Mhm. And they have a
That's it.
community.
Yeah.
Go down 7th Street and you'll find out.
Exactly.
Go down Maryland. God, we used to live on 14th Street in Maryland. Every single Saturday.
Every Saturday you see him walking. I love that. I'm like, yeah, you are like, I don't care where I am in the world. We practice our culture that has gotten us thus. Every building, what's that building? The Asherat building or whatever. I'm like, we just saw a Jewish dude moving into a house over there on 7th Street. I was like, he probably got that from his parents or something like that. Like, it's just cool to know about something like that and know, yeah, that's how you guys operate. They're like, yeah. That's how we operate. But as far as Hollywood goes, I want to learn more about that. Like, why?
There's a lot to like, because it's so. There was so much that was like happening, especially like during World War II and after World War II.
Yeah, like
That's
Hollywood
what- yeah.
history. Because
Yeah.
a lot of it was propaganda. We're filming this stuff for
Yeah,
propaganda.
there was propaganda, and then there was the kind of like the indie films. There was like I don't want to say no such thing as indie films, but there were directors and producers where it's just like, yeah, like there was people being blacklisted, being what do you call it? Just like kicked out of America for being
being dissidents or something
for
like
being
that.
like non-racist.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to make movies here, and shit like that. So
That's how all of those spaghetti westerns and stuff start.
yeah, and that's how there was like all those crime movies. Like there's a French crime movie called Rafifi, and that was made by an American dude because he wasn't allowed in America because he was labeled as a communist because he was not racist, and that's what happened all the time. And so that's why when women making movies and shit like that,
Yeah.
it's like
oh boy.
it's hard. It's like so much that goes into it that was just like labeled as like, nope, everyone in Hollywood was racist. It's because they had they kicked everybody else out. And like, or like those movies that were made, they're not in the mainstream. They're not popular.
Right.
And so that's why when you watch these 40s and 50s movies, like all the noir movies are because of World War II, because of how dark those times were in America. Not war movies, just in America.
Even like the Great Depression and all that stuff. Like,
and you watch movies like that. Like there's movies about there's this movie called The Clock that I just watched last night, about a guy who's about to go to war, but he only has 2 days to spend with his lover. And these film noir crime movies, I've been on a binge. Like I think I told Rob and Titi, but I DM'd Patton Oswalt on Instagram and asking him for a film book recommendation, and it's a book called The Devil Thumbs a Ride, and it's about film noir, because I asked him like, what are some film noir books that you would recommend, and because I don't know a lot like of books that I can read. I kind of like already audiobooked or listened to all the ones that I know of, and so he gave me one that was like an old ass book.
okay, well, so he replied to you.
Yes.
Okay.
And he gave it's called The Devil Thumbs a Ride.
Okay.
And I bought it on Amazon, and then I read it every single. It's not reviews of movies. It's just like discussions, basically. And I watched fucking almost all the movies that like I'm like running through them all, but just film noir is like one of my favorite genres. There's even noir now. There's noir 10 years ago. It's a genre, not even a genre, but like a style of movies that keep coming out every decade. There's there's a prominent noir movie that comes out, like Prisoners or Zodiac or Drive or Seven or Body Double. That's more like tech noir.
There's okay.
Because that's futurist, like Terminator.
Because it's not dark.
Terminator is like techno because it's futuristic. It's sci-fi.
I got you.
And so, because film noir is real.
When you say noir, I just think the hat that they always
That is
wear.
a staple because they're detectives. That's like where it came from.
Because that's what he puts on in Remnant. He puts on like
Nightmare Alley. Was the best fucking noir movie to come out. And I don't know how long.
That is okay. I get noir now. Yeah,
because film noir is not just a genre; it's a style. It's a tone. It's a look. And so that's why watching these old 40s movies and really seeing the darkness of it and how fucking evil some people can be and how desperate some people can be. Like instead of like these big heist movies that come out that are made by production companies, like well they're robbing a bank for millions of dollars. It's like. No, I want to watch these noir movies where, like $25,000 can change my life a lot, and I'm willing to kill for it. Mm-hmm. And so I want to. That's why those noir movies showing the state that the country was in is amazing, and that's why I love these 40s movies and 50s movies because you really see like, damn, there was some people out there who were like going through it.
You still like, I tell you, I'm like, you gotta remember some of those people were still coming fresh off to like the Wild West. Like that shit wasn't, you guys just became a state when?
1912.
That's crazy. 8 years later was the Roaring 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta imagine like, the people out here were probably doing worse. Like they were struggling.
Yeah, I don't think the Roaring 20s came here.
No.
You know what I mean?
Didn't.
Yeah.
There was no quote unquote city life.
Your economy is now going to finally be an American. Not that it wasn't before, but now that everybody's moving here,
it's like a metropolis.
It will become a major. You will see the huge. You're like, oh, this is how the rest of America works now. Phoenix has, from what I've seen, even in my 4 years here, because post-pandemic has shown you like, oh, there's a pre-pandemic Phoenix. There's like, that's still Phoenix. Like people kind of know about it, but now all y'all stores are going to start getting torn down. Everything y'all know is going to start to become like fucking Applebee's or goddamn. It's like any movie. At
Astra.
Yes.
Like on the moon.
Exactly. Thank you.
As soon as you said Applebee's, I was like...
Thank you. You knew where I was going with it. I was like...
Everything's being gentrified.
You will start to see it just like that building downtown that's been being fucking under construction for now, what, 2 years? That BMO bank building that's trying to be a
Central
condo
and
trying to be an office building and trying to be this.
It's like a bank with apartments on top of it.
Right. And then shops on the bottom. Like, what?
You're seeing, that's America coming.
There's a movie with Nicolas Cage and Elijah Wood where I think they're like cops that solve a murder that's in an apartment above a bank, but the apartment room is right above the vault, so like they try to steal the money. It's like a great movie.
It sounds like it.
It's great, but I think it came out like in 2018, 2019. But anyways, that's what it reminded me of. But yeah, I know that building on Central and Camelback.
Mm-hmm. So it's like even now I'm seeing it, like the building that was across from the kids' daycare. That building that's been abandoned since I've been here, probably since before I got here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the bottom level isn't anything, but it has like a thing on top. You know what I'm talking? It looks like, I don't know what to say it looks like. But somebody finally bought it, and it's probably going to make it some kind of condo thing and charge you
$3,000 a month.
Yeah. Like Phoenix is legitimately changing the construction. It's nonstop. You can't. You even read. They're like, you can't keep up with the people that are coming here. It's becoming too big, too fucking fast.
It's already the fifth largest. It's already the fifth largest city right now, and it's in the top 3 for the most expensive.
That's
for cost of living and like how much it is to buy a house.
Y'all were like 12th when I moved here.
Yeah, it was like
12th.
It was chill as fuck being here. Like.
You didn't have to think about anything if you lived in.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna just fill up my tank. That's it. Or like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get groceries for the next 2 weeks. Spend like $150.
Groceries now, we're paying Maryland prices in groceries.
It's crazy.
Gas.
Your gas always was a little bit more expensive out here. I don't know why, but your gas
on the
is
West
more
Coast.
Yeah, it's just more expensive.
In California, that shit's way more expensive. Way more expensive. Price of even a pack of cigarettes is going up.
Yeah. But they say California does that. That's like their. No, they Faustine. He's like they're like the case study for like doing that kind of stuff to people. Like if we make cigarettes super expensive, will people stop smoking? No. We are addicted to this. I'm going to spend $14 on this pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, or they just buy cheaper, like,
the
stuff for
store
you.
brand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go to Costco, buy a pack. You might as well buy in bulk cigarettes.
Or they get, like, the Juul and they just run through
Run through
suck
that.
through that thing.
Yeah, my mom was saying they should just raise the price of cigarettes, but just make them all the cigarettes like the shorts, just to see like if they'll still keep doing it.
They will.
They will.
Spend $12 a pack on all shorts.
It'll be. I think there would legitimately be like a Tea Party revolution if that happened. There would be a tobacco revolution.
I'm ready.
All the
I'm ready for it,
smokers
dude.
would just lose their minds. Lose their. They already lost their shit when they changed the smoking age to 21. Those people were pissed.
Right now, you have to pay extra. Like for my work, it's a smoke-free workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay the company out of your check because you smoke.
Mm-hmm. A lot of healthcare
And it used to be the
companies-
opposite.
It used to be the opposite.
It used to be like you get a 15-minute break because you smoke.
multiple.
Yeah.
And now they're like,
Like, what's a smoke
somebody
break?
finally
What?
said to themselves, some executive somewhere talked to his buddy in the tobacco industry and finally realized, like, oh, you guys are costing me more money.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's happening is you getting people who've been smoking from the 80s, who smoked the whole time when they worked in Detroit at Ford. Now they got their pension and free health care, but now he got fucking bronchitis, lung infection, this, that, this.
Right.
And then you keep telling him not to smoke.
You got COPD.
Like a lot of
He's
people
got
we
asthma.
know, they're doctors. We know people who doctors are like, don't smoke. And they're like, yeah.
My grandma.
I was going to say it, but I was like, prime example.
Yeah.
Whole ass open heart
Triple
surgery.
bypass, dude.
And then she was like,
She's still like, hey, can
3
you buy me a
days
pack of
later,
cigarettes?
buy me. None of us, all of us in here were like, nah, dude, I'm not going to support that. I'm not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not being a part of that. You lost your mind. I'm not going to buy you cigarettes. You just had open heart surgery. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
like, what?
It's crazy.
Does Josh tell us that? Or is that in Germany? Or is that in just any European country? They have a picture of the lungs on there.
I think that's all of Europe because I know they do that in Norway.
They do like,
And
these are lungs when you smoke.
Yeah.
And they say people will
They do
be
that in
like-
Norway and they do that in Sweden.
Yeah.
And I think they smoke more than anybody still.
I saw one lady. She was homeless. We see her all the time on 7th Street. And she was rolling just like cigarettes, like rolling cigarettes. Like she
cheaper.
did it like with one hand, and she was like talking at the same time. It was just like lit it and was. By the time I was at the light.
These are where people are back now because cigarettes are expensive. People are back to rolling cigarettes
With no filter.
No
With
filter,
no
nothing.
filter, bro.
Just
Bronco
straight tobacco.
Henry?
Straight tobacco.
Oh my God, you cowboys!
The pipes are gonna be back with the tobacco and
Pipes are already making the comeback. I know cigar smokers are going back to pipes and stuff. They like the taste of it. People smoking funnel in their J's now.
first of all, disgusting. You might as well just smoke cigarettes. Okay?
That's crazy. Where are we at?
Because
At hour 30, at hour 28.
Or 28. That's solid.
Yeah,
We could wrap it up.
absolutely.
That was a good episode.
It was. I feel like we purposely held back though because we could talk for like 2.5 hours.
while.
About
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I also need to pee. We
Yeah.
could do Patreon for like 31 minutes.
That's how I gotta mix the audio from last Patreon.
All right. Let's just wrap it up.
okay. Go watch.
Peace. Thor: Love and Thunder. Next week, wait, what are we doing next week? Because
What comes out?
we're going to have... by the time we record next week, Nope is going to be out when the episode comes out.
Oh, well, then we're gonna see Nope then.
We did see Lightyear.
We did see Lightyear.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk about that.
How was that?
It was actually not bad.
It was actually
the
kind of
story,
pretty
the
good.
twist at the end. You're like, okay, Pixar, Disney. That was Disney writing and Pixar animation for sure.
Because today is the 10th, and Nope comes out on the 22nd. So this episode will come out on the 15th or the 14th. This episode will come out. I'm trying to do the math right now.
Yeah. It won't be out because we record Saturday.
14th.
Yeah, we'll still have another week before it even comes out.
Yeah, but the next episode we record,
After.
it'll come out the day before Nope comes out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when we're going to do Jordan Peele again.
Yeah.
Because we talked about, what episode was that we did Jordan Peele?
Like 17 and 18.
Yeah. Wild.
40 episodes ago. No, 50 episodes ago.
About a year.
We could start to revisit some of our old.
We
Are any
could.
of those people coming out with movies now? You did do Cronenberg. I do want to talk about Cronenberg. I haven't watched Cronenberg.
Wait, we didn't do Cronenberg. But on those old ones.
Yeah.
I wish we did.
But, I mean, we can go do Jordan Peele again. But it would only be
But
like
next
one
week.
episode. For next week, though.
That could be anything. Because have you read Where the Crawdads Sing?
No.
No, I thought you did.
No, that's Mom. And Tatiana.
Yeah.
Right.
You're all the same person.
Right. But it does come out on the 13th.
Short,
it does come out.
She's just tiny. She has tiny everything.
Yeah.
What?
I told him.
What'd you say?
It comes out on the 13th.
You're right.
That's why you were thinking about Where the Crawdads Sing.
Because that comes out next week.
Which we haven't done like I guess like a chick flick romantic type of. I don't even know if it's romantic because I never seen it. So.
Yeah. That's what I was looking forward to because I thought you read it. I was like, we can maybe do that as an episode because I haven't read the book. But now that's out the window.
Right. I mean, we could sub Tatiana.
What's happening in the world right now that we could watch a movie? Because now that kind of, I want to go on a Hollywood binge now.
Oh,
The
whoa,
history of
whoa.
Hollywood.
I watched a lot of movies this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go pee real quick.
Yeah,
Can I go
do
pee?
that? Yeah.
I have some. I know what you're talking about.
It's like whoa.
I do want to talk about that movie I watched too, the crazy one.
What was that?
The one with what's his name? Loki. God damn it! Not Benedict Cumberbatch. Loki. Fuck. What is his name?
I don't know. Loki.
Tom Hiddleston. God damn it! That's his name. Tom Hiddleston was in that movie, High Rise. That's the movie I saw. Have you seen that movie, High Rise, Nate?
No.
That shit is fucking wild. It has Tom Hiddleston. It has old buddy who was Shaw, and the other Shaw, the original Shaw in Fast and Furious. It has fucking old buddy from.
It's directed by Ben Wheatley. He's a great director. I gotta watch that. I don't know what you're saying. Elizabeth Moss?
He was Alfred in the Justice League.
Not Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jeremy
it is
Irons?
Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons is in High Rise.
I get Jeremy Irons and Hank Azaria, or whatever his name is.
I'm probably sure I wanted to say that guy too.
I get them confused because they kind of look alike. But
Oh yeah, they do.
I'm gonna turn this on.
Christ, they're like the same person, like his son.
I watched. So I was on Shudder all week.
Love Shudder.
I watched that. It's not as I thought it was a zombie movie. It's called The Sadness. I think it's a Taiwanese movie, but it's directed by an American. But it's like I wanted to love it, but I want you to watch it, Rob, because it's like I don't know how I would describe it, because it's very COVID. I liked it. I'm saying this in a positive way. It's very COVID related. It's the whole beginning is one big like, oh shit, like they're connected.
Like Army of the Dead.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, but it's like not zombies though. There's a lot of like, it's like they make them more. It's not. They don't make them zombies. It just makes them more violent.
Like 28 Days Later.
Exactly. It's kind of like 28 Days Later, but the reason why I liked it was because it's super ultra gory, ultra violent, no CGI, all prosthetic. It looks cool.
Yeah.
But it's like the story wise, I wasn't too like connected with it, but like it's pretty badass. It's a lot of action, fast paced. It's only like 90 minutes long.
That sounds like that show I was watching. That Korean show, the Korean zombie show.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Was it on Netflix?
Yes, it was. There was a Korean zombie show on Netflix.
It's pretty popular.
It sounds like it. You know the show I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I've heard of like people talking about it too.
Alive. No?
All of Us Are Dead.
All of Us Are Dead.
That came out this year. All of Us Are Dead. Great.
Should I just go through what I've watched for the past week?
Yeah, please. Everybody go watch All of Us Are Dead. That shit is actually it's every zombie thing put together. But they're in high school this time. So imagine how dumb kids are in high school and then you all get locked in together in a zombie apocalypse. It's not the fucking Goonies where it's like all of a sudden these kids know how to figure shit out. They're like, we're teenagers. I don't know what's happening.
I think that's why Daybreak was good.
And they're also Korean, so they actually are more mature than like... And just admittedly so, I was like...
Compared to Daybreak?
These kids are very well put together, like, teenagers. They're like...
They didn't even change out their fucking uniforms the whole time.
Because, you know, respect in their culture is very... So they called their class president... like Madam President. They respected her. Like when stuff would happen, they're like, what are we supposed to do now? And you're like, damn, class president in our country, you're like fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares.
Yeah.
That show's really good though. So what's the name of that movie?
The Sadness.
The Sadness. I'm gonna go watch it now. All of Us Are Dead in The Sadness.
It might grow on me later. I'm positive it will. But it's just like, it's so like it's, there's just a lot of parts I didn't like about it. But like, the parts that I did like, I loved and I respected. I was like, damn, this is actually like new and like it's original, you know what I mean? But it does take, I mean, any zombie movie takes inspiration from any other zombie movie.
Right.
But The Sadness is like a distinct like fan base of like people who will like it. So that's why it's like I want to, you know, test you guys at like how will you guys like it? It's on Shudder. I'm pretty sure it's a Shudder original. But
did you watch The Black Phone? Is that a Shudder original?
No, that's Blumhouse though.
Okay, it has the like it looks like a Shudder cover.
Yeah,
it looks like it's like
I do want to watch it though.
I do want to see it. Bobby Lee said it's fucking good.
I do want to watch because I love Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, he's on the fucking roll right now.
Yeah,
he killed it in Moon Knight
and The Northman.
He did kill it in The Northman.
Yeah.
Fucking Ethan Hawke, baby. He got wet. He came back.
Yeah, he's fucking, he's on it. You know who else is fucking Christian Bale.
Yep.
Because you guys saw the trailer to that Amsterdam movie.
Mm-hmm.
That looks pretty cool. I'm excited for the performances because there's a lot of people in that movie.
Yeah.
But what else I watched? Thor: The Dark World. I watched a lot of noir movies. Not going to talk about those yet. Gladiator.
Good
okay,
one.
classic.
I watched and I was like, because here's the thing. For the past like 3-4 weeks, I've been every now and then I've been watching this either Tony Scott or Ridley Scott their movies. Mm-hmm. Like I'll watch Tony Scott's Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. Or I'll watch Ridley Scott. I watched Ridley Scott's The Last Duel. That movie, I didn't like it.
I need to watch it.
I didn't like it the first time I watched it.
I remember I thought you did.
I was a little like disappointed. But then I watched it like a week or two ago. Fucking amazing. Amazing movie. The Last Duel is great. But what I watched is Gladiator, Ridley Scott's. The Gladiator. Not The Gladiator. Just Gladiator. With Russell Crowe. I was going to bring that up when we were talking about Zeus. When I came back from the bathroom, you should cut that and make all this Patreon. Like just basically cut that in half.
Oh, okay, I could do that.
So
yeah, that's easy.
Ever since I came back from the bathroom, this is all Patreon. Welcome to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Everybody. What was I going to say? My review for it, what I wrote down in the review, was the only thing I don't like about Gladiator is Hans Zimmer's score. I don't think it's that good of a score. I think it's very stuck in the 2000s, early 2000s. It doesn't sound like, you know what I mean?
It was made for Gladiator.
It
He
just sounds like it was like a
same-
popular score.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was like mailed in
Yeah.
by Hans Zimmer. I don't think it's one of his best scores.
Right.
And I think that's the like kind of the worst part of the movie, and that's what brings it down, was just kind of like this badass moment or this crazy moment.
Right. It wasn't like 300 where you're like, this shit
you're
is
like, this
fucking
shit is
intense.
sick. But it's more of like Hans Zimmer being grand when it's not that grand. It is grand of a story, but it's like
There's
it's
a lot of like,
study.
yeah, there's like a lot of like lows.
It's him. It's and how what he's going through. And I don't think it's that grand of a story. It's because he was about to be the fucking king. He was about to be the Caesar of it all. But then fucking Marcus Aurelius' son, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
I don't know his name in the movie, but Joaquin Phoenix kills Marcus Aurelius, and then shit just goes crazy. Russell Crowe's a slave now, and he's got a fucking.
Got to fight for his life.
And that shit's so good. The Gladiator,
his
and it's-
family.
It's real set pieces, costume design. I've been really into that lately. That's why ever since I watched Tombstone, I've been obsessed with period pieces that were shot on film, not digital shit.
Like
Because you
Troy.
just CGI that shit out. But like watching like The Northman, I was like, okay, this is sick. We haven't seen one of these in a long time. And then I watched Tombstone. And I'm like, oh shit, this like revamped everything for me. And then I've watched like period pieces, and I'm like, how the fuck did they do this? And so, but don't even get me started with Lord of the Rings. Like,
Okay, so let's just say we watched Fantastic Beasts, like all three of them. Great again.
they're great. I haven't seen any of the Fantastic Beasts.
But this was Rob's first time watching like the first two.
Yeah.
Right? And
And
then-
I would walk in on her watching them, but I told her I didn't want to watch them because I didn't like the main dude at first. I didn't like his meek.
Oh.
I didn't like his meek, like he. I didn't like the way he like. That's how everything he's always like hunched up. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like he's autistic.
we get it. We know he's autistic, but damn,
Yeah.
you ain't gotta make him fucking just
Soft.
yeah. Swing your wand, nigga.
Yeah.
Shit going down. Swing
I
your
haven't
fucking
seen
wand.
any of
But
those.
he did, and he was like, "Why wouldn't I like do magic? Like that don't make no sense." You
but
know?
then, but what's his name was in? What's the fat guy's name?
Jack Black.
No, the other Jack Black. His
Josh
replacement.
Gad.
No, he's in, but the guy in between him.
God damn it. The guy who was from the Steve Jobs movie?
No.
For the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie?
No, when the minute I say him, you'll be like, oh, that guy. He was in a lot of stuff a while ago.
Is it not Josh Gad?
No, Josh Gad is actually, I would consider him more talented than Jack Black.
Josh Gad is hilarious.
I'm considering him like above Jack, because he can actually like sing. Josh Gad has like, I think he has like a classically trained voice.
But Jack Black has...
It's hilarious.
But
and
he's
can
in
play.
he's in great movies.
He is. But Josh Gad, give him some more time. Josh Gad's pretty fucking funny though.
Josh
Yeah.
Gad's hilarious.
What's that movie where he's the fucking the best, not the where he hires the best man with Kevin Hart?
Isn't it called The Best
The
Man?
Ringer? Not The Ringer, The Ring.
He's a Bear Claw. From New Girl.
I would never. I would never do that, Jess.
Oh my god, he's hilarious.
He's like, you know why I would pick him over Jack Black? Because he's not as like, Jack Black is still hilarious, don't get
the
me wrong.
wedding ringer.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's so like, sometimes he's neurotic. He's like, oh, it's like, whoa, Tenacious D. Like, let's draw back to Tenacious D
Yeah.
a little bit. And let's just,
When he in Little Monsters, when he was like the main guy.
you talking about Josh Gad?
Yeah.
Josh Gad would play like a character. His name was like McGoogles or something. He was like a child's play character. So he would have like this puppet that he would talk, and he would talk like that, and he would do that. The minute them zombies started coming,
It was like, fuck
he
them
was
What movie
kids.
is that?
oh fuck, movie's called Little Monsters. It has Nakia.
Yeah, I know.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o is in it. She's a kindergarten teacher, and Josh Gad is like, "Go fuck yourself." He's like cussing at the kids. He was like, "I hope all of you get eaten by zombies." He tries to like kick one outside
Because he was coming through the doggy door, and he was like trying to kick the kid out.
I was like, "What the fuck?" Josh
Hilarious.
Gad is hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He's Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's Olaf.
No, I fuck with Jack Black though. I think he's he's top 3 comedic actors all time. Even yeah, I would. Cause him in High Fidelity, School of Rock,
for
Be Kind,
sure.
Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah, Be Kind, Rewind for sure.
Even taking
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. I
Yeah,
was just
what
gonna
else
say
is it?
that. Jumanji, he was good in that too.
Yeah, he is.
Shallow Hal, Saving Silverman.
Yeah.
Saving Silverman, that was great.
Envy, he's in he was Shark Tale, Tenacious D, we just said, Nacho Libre. He was in you guys said Tropic Thunder. Year One.
But even
Orange
all
County
of those are a type of comedy though.
Yeah.
They're very like extreme. Like over the top. Like Year One, hilarious, but way over the top.
Yeah, Bernie is really good. We used to have that movie on DVD.
Orange County too, we have that.
Bernie.
Saving Silverman, we definitely had on DVD.
Yeah, I think Jack Black has like that distinctive, like no one else is like him.
No. That's what I was thinking as we were talking. Like maybe Josh Gad and him shouldn't even be compared.
They're just
They have
fat.
the same This is exactly what it is. You're two fat guys who singing are funny, and we're like, yeah, they're together. They're the same person.
Oh my gosh.
No, Josh Gad is his own, like, he
has his own
lane.
style.
Yeah, his lane is different. Like rom-com type stuff.
Yeah, because Josh Gad is like that more SNL style, and Josh Gad is way better at going serious.
Yes, he is. No,
But Jonah Hill
Jack
too.
Black has some. Jonah Hill's he's already been way beyond comedy.
Jonah Hill.
He's ascended past that since what? Wolf of Wall Street.
Would it be like a Kevin James?
No, because
No.
Kevin James was always like
he
was always the family man, like family comedy.
He's
Okay.
he's a Happy Madison offshoot. He's like a product of Happy Madison, I would say. Kevin
Because
James.
he's best friends with
Yeah.
Adam Sandler.
So like those people like him, I don't think they ever really get like their, because just like you wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Adam Sandler. Dante, he's in no other movie except for Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, I don't think Jonah Hill even belongs in
Moneyball, he
doesn't belong in the comedy realm anymore.
no, he was
I think
just,
he's definitely
funny.
moved
he
on.
was just super funny in all the movies
He was
been
funny
in.
in like Superbad, and when he was used as the fat funny white person.
Yeah,
But
21
even
Jump
This Is
Street.
the End, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Aja, AJAAH.
But I don't think he's a comedy actor.
No. He's an actor.
I mean, he's an actor for sure.
Yeah.
But I think his comedic roles,
Ever
because Josh
since-
Gad has been in serious roles
movies,
too.
yeah.
But so has Jack Black.
But as a comedic actor in a
But
comedic
it's like,
role.
how do you see them though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see,
I don't see Jonah Hill as comedic actor anymore.
not in Josh Gad and Jack Black camp. No.
Yeah,
no,
those
no.
are like, those are funny fucking actors.
Mm-hmm.
like Will Ferrell?
Yeah, he's the best.
Yes.
He's one of the best.
Yes.
Like no one does it better than John C. Reilly. John C.
Yeah.
Reilly does amazing
Yeah.
performances in serious movies, but he's also hilarious in
hilarious.
Talladega Nights. Hilarious in Talladega Nights. Hilarious in Step Brothers.
I feel like he'd be more.
Walk
He'd
Hard.
be funny in real life, like in person.
I
Yeah.
just told Amanda, I said, to be a comedic actor, I'm not saying being serious isn't, but delivery, man. Like, there's a new kid in the Stranger Things season called Eddie. You instantly fall in love with him in the show. Because his delivery, it's not what is how he's saying it. You're like, this kid is fucking hilarious.
Right. It's his
Josh
timing and
Gad's
delivery.
when he says stuff in that high voice or he gets like really high, you're like, that's pretty fucking funny, dude.
What's his name? He was also a New Girl. He was one of the boyfriends.
Jake Long?
Yes,
Justin Long?
Justin Long, yeah.
Hilarious. Like
He's good as like that neurotic, like
we were
anxiety.
we were in the shop,
yeah.
and we were watching Zach and Miri make a porno.
Okay.
So even in like that sense, hilarious.
Oh, you want me to be
Except
in the closet? In the closet of gay? No. Like when he does that, I was like, oh, Justin Long is.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see him for a while.
Yeah.
You didn't see him for a while until you saw him in Zack and Miri for like that 5 minutes he was in the movie and stole probably one of the most memorable scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys search each other's cocks? Oh, like crazy.
But I think John C. Reilly is probably my favorite because he's been in
the majority of our favorite movies for sure.
Yeah.
Funniest movies.
I think Walk Hard is his funniest movie, and like him in
Step Brothers is second.
Him in Magnolia is probably his best serious movie, or him in Boogie Nights, or him in Hard 8.
What was he in?
I just named 3 Paul Thomas Anderson. For the Love of the Game.
He was a cop. Wasn't he like an old timey cop in some movie?
He was a cop in Magnolia.
Maybe that's the movie I watched.
If you watch Magnolia, you would remember. Trust me. Plus, I don't think you've watched it because it's 3 hours long, and I don't see.
I definitely wouldn't have seen that. I'm saying, unless I seen it on deployment, then I don't know what you're talking about. 3 hours, god damn.
But it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The fuck was that movie he was in?
John C. Reilly was a cop.
I can't think of it, and I remember thinking to myself.
Also, John C. Reilly was Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah. So his voiceover work is even amazing.
Jim Carrey too.
Jim Carrey.
I think there's like a level of.
Oh, kids crying. Where are we at?
We're 150.
Yeah, let's cut it.
Yeah.
All right, peace out. Damn, this cut like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's 5:30 anyway. I know you have to get Tatiana.
Next week, we're going to talk about whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We're not going to Patreon this. We're using extra 20 minutes.
All right.